guest number 3 from Belleville West High School, head girls volleyball coach. Welcome back, Miesha Franklin.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
And you are busy these days because you are going to have a baby.
Yes, I am exactly 22 weeks. I will be 23 tomorrow.
23 weeks tomorrow.
Yes.
Is that had a change on your coaching?
Not necessarily. I was actually pregnant with my first baby. She's 3.
Okay.
So I coached all the way up until my water broke.
So you've done this before.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not my first rodeo.
Okay. You just seem so young to me. I don't know why I was thinking this was your first. But this is baby number 2.
Yes, baby number 2. I have a 3-year-old daughter. Her
Okay.
name is baby Dakota.
All right.
And she is full of life.
Well, that's good.
Big personality.
That's great. Okay, cool. Well, how's the season going? This is week number 2?
Yes. This week coming up is going to be our first game. We play our first game tomorrow against Muscuda, who is from summer, and just, open gyms and scrimmages have been pretty good and pretty decent. So I'm excited. The girls are very, very excited. Just a lot of nerves because it's the first game of the season. But once we play on Tuesday, once our feet is wet, we are wet. Yeah. We play in a big tournament at the Belleville Center for MICDS, and we play lots of tough competition there too. So once we play tomorrow, the ball is rolling.
Yep. Well, you play in a tough conference, and you always get those girls ready. A couple of years ago, I think you finished 3rd in the conference and came out and got all the way to the sectional final, if I'm not mistaken. You beat Edwardsville and O'Fallon, so I know you're able to get those girls ready every single year. As a former professional volleyball player, that's got to help.
Yeah, the girls do a really good job of buying into what I'm selling. I know that this is my 4th year coaching in the Southwestern Conference, and sometimes change can be hard. But when I came in, they all were on board with whatever I was trying to do and whatever I was trying to change because they wanted the success of the program. So once they bought in, it's easier for the younger ones to also buy into because they see the success and they want that for themselves too.
And those wins had a huge impact on winning those kids over, I'm sure, because they saw the success and they're like,
yes.
Coach Me, I think she knows what she's talking about.
Yes.
For sure. Okay. Miesha, what do you love about your team so far?
They are full of personality. I mean, lots of giggles. Probably more than what we need, especially if we're in the middle of a scrimmage or something like that. Someone will do something silly or awkward, and the whole gym just erupts in laughter. Even sometimes me, when I'm trying to keep my coaching composure and say, hey, girls, let's focus. But it just means that they are having fun, and that's really what it's about.
And you encourage that?
Yes.
The laughter and the fun and the teasing. And I think there's another coach in your building that does a really good job of that as well, Coach Nelson. Coach Alonzo Nelson does a fantastic job of letting the kids be kids and have fun. And if I was at Belleville West, I would have Coach Nelson teaching my team yoga once a week at least. He's a certified yoga dude, and he's really good at it. Okay, you like your team personality. You like their overall exuberance for the game and for each other. How about their style of play?
I think we're still trying to figure it out. It's super early. Typically, with my coaching experience, the teams that I've had don't really come into their team personality until like maybe the middle of the season. Just because at the beginning, you're still trying to figure out what pieces work, what pieces don't work, who plays well next to each other, who don't play next to each other, who has chemistry, who doesn't have chemistry. So it's still a lot of moving pieces at the very beginning. But luckily, all the girls get along with each other. So even if I am trying to play chess with putting one person next to another person or vice versa, there isn't any like negative attitudes or anything like that. They are just all wanting what's best for the team, which is actually a good problem to have.
And you start off with a tough one. Brooke Clace does a great job for Muscuda.
Yes, she does.
She's known as one of the best young coaches in the area, just like you. Mm-hmm. And she's got it going on there, and she likes a challenge. And you guys are coming out the gates swinging.
Yes, our ADs, they actually shuffled our schedule this season. to where we're starting off with teams that are going to push us early, when typically you have a couple of games where it's like, ooh, okay, we're getting our feet wet. We have a little momentum. We're building confidence. So it's definitely different for us to be able to come out swinging, like you said, but she's doing a great job at Muscuda. And they are, like I said, I saw them in the summer, and they are definitely a tough team. So it's going to be an exciting one to watch tomorrow.
And they're going to be in the Southwestern Conference anyway next year. Now,
yes.
Whether or not they're in your division of the conference remains to be seen. I know that Muscuda Volleyball feels like they can compete with the biggest and the best in the Southwestern Conference, and they are lobbying to be in that upper echelon, and good for them, because they do deserve to be there, and it would be good for them. And Coach Clay says, we want a challenge. We want to be there.
Yes.
So that'll be a fun one tomorrow night with you guys for sure.
Yes.
Okay. What's going to be the style? You said you're still figuring that out quite a bit, but don't your teams play a particular style year in, year out anyway?
Yes, I would say we are more defensive oriented because we don't have a lot of height. There are other schools who have lots of height, like Mater Dei, but we are not
She's
one
gone,
of those.
Though. Kirkenmeyer is gone. The 7-footer, I mean, you're lucky. You don't have to, she's playing basketball at St. Louis University, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So that's
she was huge.
She
like
was
6'4", I believe, or 6'5", something like that.
At least.
True 6'4", true 6'5", not an inflated height. But yeah, I would say more defensive oriented because we don't have the height. And so we have to be a little bit more scrappier. We have to be able to have that mentality that no ball hits the ground, because we're already closer to the ground, so that it's trying to strengthen what our strengths are without allowing our weaknesses to overshadow that with being highly challenged. We don't have, I think maybe we don't have any girl, I would say about like 5'11".
Okay.
That's like the tallest, I would say. And the shortest is short.
Okay.
But I would say what has helped us be successful is being very disciplined on defense.
And scrappy.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Was that your style as a player? Because you're tall. Were you an outside hitter?
I played, so in college, I played at the University of Cincinnati. I played middle and right side. And I had pretty good ball control as a middle right side, just because I was undersized, but I could jump. So
how tall are you?
I'm 5'11". 5'11". With shoes on, I would say like 6 foot.
Yeah, I thought you were taller than 5'11".
Yeah. Well,
maybe it's the pregnant.
Maybe if you looked at my college height, it would say 6'1", but I know I'm not 6'1".
Yeah, that's a 2-inch grace there.
It's a stretch, but I am like a true 5'11", and with shoes on, I do have that inch, so I would say like 6 foot for sure. But the coaches that I've had in the past, because I used to play for like Elisa Orlet, she was very on the grind, pedal to the metal, like all gas, no brakes type of coach. And she was the one who really instilled that dog mentality of defense is where you win games. Yes, you can have offense, but the one thing that frustrates a really good offense is really good defense, because it's not going to go down on the very first swing. And you learn over time when you have to make something good. If you don't have the height, then the one thing that we can control is defense. Yeah. So if I can continue to teach that and cultivate that, because the girls want to play defense, it helps put us in a position to be successful.
Who are some of the leaders on your squad this year?
We actually just named our captains.
Right.
So
who are they?
We have a senior. She's an outside. Her name is Maya Schutzenhofer. She played a little bit of JV, and then halfway through the season, she got moved up and played varsity for us. She played right side and a little bit of outside, but she was our ball control kid. And then Jayla Sparks, she's a senior too. She's also a verbal commit to SLU.
Great.
And she is the spark plug. Now, no pun intended, because her last name is Sparks, but she is the spark plug of the team. And it's really easy to follow her. She has really big influence. And then we have a sophomore named Leela Stinson. She was like a true freshman. She played varsity all year last year, and she was able to hold her own, which says a lot from transitioning from middle school to high school, and not even just going freshman. She went from middle school to varsity, which is a huge transition for someone who was just playing middle school volleyball, where typically you just kind of play the area that you are. So to be able to make that transition as smoothly as she did, I thought it was huge.
Okay. Well, good luck tomorrow night.
Thank you.
Against the Indians.
Thank you so much.
I hope you all play great, and it's going to be a great game.
Yeah, I'm hoping to.
Okay. All right, let's look at some of the other teams in the area that people need to keep an eye on this year. And there are a handful of usual suspects that year in, year out, these are the teams that people have to look out for. Who are some of those teams this year in particular that we need to keep an eye
on? Edwardsville. They are always in the talks. The coach there does a really great job of
Coach Olau.
Yes, she does a really great job of cultivating, that mentality where they are going to be in the top pack of the conference every year. O'Fallon is another one too, just because they get so much good talent there. And I'm going to mention Belleville East because they're our rivals, and we always want the smoke with Belleville East. We want that, rivalry with them. But those three are the ones that typically push us the most in the season. And then with Mascoutah possibly joining the conference too.
Oh, they are joining the conference next year. For sure.
They are joining the conference next year.
They're in the conference next year. They're in. That ink is dried.
Yeah.
Now, if they're going to be in the top division, the big school division, or the small school division, how they organize that, like I said, I know that they want to be amongst the big dogs.
Yeah.
In volleyball.
Yeah.
But anyway, all right. And who are so those are the big schools that you just named.
Yeah.
Not Collinsville, Edwardsville, O'Fallon.
Belleville East,
Belleville
our
East,
rivals.
Belleville West. Those are the teams that Mascoutah. Those are the teams that are going to be there, and then there's going to be a bunch of other teams that are going to be there. Breeze Central, Powerhouse, Mater Dei will be there again. Who are some of the other teams that we need to keep an eye on?
I would say, besides. Well, you really named the other two, which that's in our area, is Mater Dei and Breeze Central. Those are the other two that you really have to keep an eye on, just because they're not necessarily in our conference, but they always have a good team. Even historically, even when I was in high school, they've always been good. And the coaches there do a good job of, even when a new coach transitions in, they can still cultivate that winner environment. But yeah, I would agree with you. Those other two are the major ones that we have to keep an eye on.
Okay. In your schedule, you've got Mascoutah tomorrow, and then you've got Union on Friday and Althoff on Friday. Crosstown rivalry. And Althoff's always a tough out for you as well.
Yes, I actually went to Althoff Catholic. That's where Kathy Wooler and also Lisa Orlett was my high school coach. So I have a soft spot for them.
Okay.
So I'm torn every now and then when we play them. I'm like, oh, that's my old team. That's my old school. But then on the other side, I'm like, West Side for life. But yeah, we play them very early. So I'm actually interested to see how they look, because we have not scrimmaged them all summer long. So I have no idea what they look like.
Traditionally, they've been very strong. Coach Orlett was there for a long time. Was she your coach?
Yes. Okay. Yes, she was.
All right. And I noticed that on your staff, the assistant athletic director, Austin Betts, is one of your assistant coaches. Is he still helping?
Not necessarily, just because being assistant athletic director, it has taken up a lot of his time. Gotcha. If he can step in, he will, but he's been trying to make sure that our athletic program continues to run top tier, like how it's always been.
He's a great guy. I've gotten to know him through tennis, and I think that would be awesome to have him on staff. Maybe I'll reach out and see if he wants to help me coach some tennis.
He probably would love it.
And I noticed your fourth game, St. Joe's Academy. That's a tough game too, always.
Yes. That's the MICDS tournament. So we are being baptized very early this season. And I'm not saying that we didn't have tough matches at the beginning last season, but this one's just a little bit different because typically the heavy hitters don't come really until the middle end of the season. When you're finally figuring out what team personality you have, what is your niche, what makes you different from the other teams. So it's interesting that we are coming up against a lot of really, really good programs early, but I think it's also a good thing too, because it lets you see adversity early. It lets you see what those weaknesses are that maybe we need to work on now instead of in the middle of the season so that we can perfect those things for playoffs.
Well, St. Joe's Academy, Mater Dei, I'm just reading your non-conference schedule. Althoff twice, Columbia, and then the conference schedule. You've really got a tough year ahead of you. But like you said, it makes you tough, and then that allows you to pull those upsets or to win those games going down the stretch. And so that's what you're preparing your team for.
Yeah, I agree. It's a lot to wrap your head around, but at the same time, it's a really good thing because you see people's true colors whenever they have their backs against the wall. Are you going to rise to the occasion or are you going to cower down? And if you can see that early, then you can learn how to cultivate it. Okay.
Well, it's always a pleasure to see on here. Are you this positive and happy even during the games? Does Coach Me ever get angry during the games?
I definitely do. But I have, and everybody always says it, that I have a very calm outwardly appearance. And even the girls say, like, you don't yell, you just talk really sternly. And I'm like, okay.
That's good.
But I've never been a yeller.
What's the point? I mean, it's not going to help. You know what I mean? If a kid messes up, you don't need to yell at her and tell her she messed up.
Yeah, because they already know.
They already know. There's really no point in that. I think a sense of calm is going to help you coaching women, but you already know that.
Yeah, it's. I've learned that from my experience with coaching volleyball, girls respond better when you just talk to them versus talking down to them. And yes, I do get stern, but they know if my tone changes, then I'm serious. And I even like that they even mentioned that to me because I didn't know that I was being stern until they were like, yeah, coach is upset. She's being super stern right now. So we need to like get it together. So that was actually a good self-awareness point for me. But yeah, girls from my experience have really responded to just talking to them. And sometimes there are moments where you can pull them to the side and sometimes it's not, but it's being able to just treat them like a person, which kind of goes with my occupation because I also am a clinical mental health counselor too.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I wanted to ask you. I remember you did something. So you are a clinical occupational mental health?
Yes. So I work in private practice. I see clients who have anxiety and depression. That's my two specialties.
Okay. And is it your practice that you own or you work in somebody else's practice?
No, it is not my practice. I work for Counselors Associates. They have multiple locations. The one that I worked at is at Swansea. Okay. We used to be in Shiloh, right by that Target in Dearborgs, but we just switched locations recently, like about a month ago.
What percentage of your clients are young? Kids, high school kids?
0.
Okay.
0, just because it would be a conflict of interest for me. So I see clients who are 18 and older. So I see adults only.
What's the best way to help young people? Because we're talking about high school athletes. Mm-hmm. I know that you aren't dealing with them professionally during your day job, but you are dealing with them professionally in the afternoon.
Yes.
What's the best way to help young people? Because we have an epidemic of kids with anxiety and depression, do we not? Mm-hmm. Everything I read says that's what we have.
Yep.
Sometimes I think when we tell them that they have anxiety and depression, it leads to their anxiety and depression. That's a whole nother conversation.
Yes.
What are the tips? Give me some tips. Give me some ways to help.
Well, what I have learned is to normalize it. Sometimes people think, oh, if you do talk about it, it makes it worse. Actually, it validates that their experience is real. And sometimes just hearing it from someone else to say, hey, it's okay for you to be anxious right now, can help give a sense of calmness of like, oh, Like, it's not just me, as it relates to trying to help the girls. I've learned that being social is more difficult than it has been in the past. And I would say social in all realms. So not just with high schoolers the same age as them, but also them being able to communicate with parents, them being able to communicate with me, them feeling comfortable enough to say their true feelings. So it's trying to teach them it's okay to have a voice, even if that voice is different than who you're talking to. And what they have to say is important. It needs to be said. It needs to be heard, whether it's going to ruffle feathers or not. And if we can normalize it and say, hey, it's okay to say something, or it's okay to talk to mom and dad about this, it will help prompt more conversations that haven't been had because everyone is kind of in their own social little bubble.
And the phones aren't helping.
No, it's not.
You got to put that phone away, and you got to sleep.
It's definitely not.
You got to sleep, and you got to move your body.
Yeah.
Those are some things that I personally have felt help me, and those are things that I try to recommend to the young people that I deal with.
Yeah.
That, it's hard to feel good if you're really, really tired.
Yes, it's trying to figure out what it is that your body needs, and then actually listening to your body. And sometimes anxiety can be exacerbated if you aren't listening to your body. So if you need to feel feelings and you're trying to avoid it, that can exacerbate anxiety. Even some depression as well. If you aren't getting enough rest, that can make you a little bit more irritable.
Oh.
So you can be a little bit more angry or on edge. If you're not eating, you're not going to have enough energy to be able to last throughout the entire school day. And then if you have practice after that, then you're literally running on fumes and you're not able to get better.
That's why my kids eat before we have practice. A 200-ish calorie snack.
Ooh, I like that.
They eat at 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
We're practicing from 2:30 to 5.
Yep.
So we have some snacks, and we have a snack, because I remember feeling better when I was practicing in college because I had some time to rest a little bit, to eat a little bit, and then I would go to practice. But I remember just always feeling just famished and exhausted at practice in high school. So I think it helps, man. I think that little bit of food so you don't bonk at practice. Well, that's good stuff. I didn't expect to talk about that tonight.
I always talk about mental health. I love mental health.
but that's great.
Yeah.
You seem like the perfect person for that kind of job too.
Oh,
because
thank you.
You're upbeat and you're positive, and I think that goes a long way too. So good for you. Keep up the good work there.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay, Miesha, thanks so much for coming on tonight. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Of course.
And I hope you're able to keep up this good energy when you get a little bit closer to December. What's the due date again?
December 23rd.
This is going to be a Christmas baby.
Yes. Yes. I'm hopeful that the baby comes a week early so that I'm not in the hospital on Christmas and I can actually spend it with my family. But
is this going to be a girl or a boy? Do we know yet?
It's a boy.
It's a boy. Saint Nick.
Yeah.
There we go.
It's my mom's first grandson. So she has all granddaughters. All my sisters have all girls.
Wow.
So it's the first one. She's very excited. She's just walking around telling random people she's having a grandson because she's so excited. That's
good stuff. All right. Well, it's so great to see you. I really appreciate you coming by.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Thank you for listening to the Metro Esports podcast presented by Little Caesars Pizza. And huge thanks to our guests, Dan Diamond, Cody Markle, and Miesha Franklin. And for partners, Cassens, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, Keller Williams, Marquis, the Blasting Game Group, Integrity Spine and Joint Center, Front Office, Fiduciary Network, Oakbrook Golf Club, Viviano Heating and Air Conditioning, Played Against Sports Edwardsville, and Snap Mobile. And for my teammates, Social Media Director Kayla Kohlberg, Video Production Assistant Luke Slemmer, and intern Kala Espensheed. Thank you for listening to the Metro East Sports Podcast, talking all things sports in the Metro East.